38 years in the army. I was born into an army family. And once you are a soldier, you always remain a soldier. So my entire life of 72 years, starting from childhood, has been with the army. Some people may think that all your life you lived in a cocoon. But the kind of exposure and the kind of facilities, the kind of organization which I worked with can never go out of my mind. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Life is about being part of a system. As a soldier, I can say, I was there when the country reached out to you, whether it was the border with China or the border with Pakistan. And I'm speaking on behalf of all soldiers. I was there when there was turmoil in Kashmir, there was turmoil in the Northeast. I was there when floods were there in your home. I was there when earthquakes were there in, whether it was Uttarakhand or whether it was Maharashtra. A soldier was always there for you. So, what made me always think, and why I chose a subject like this, that there are special leadership challenges which take place for a soldier, and particularly for a leader, how important it is for keeping that soldier intact, that stability intact. We do not, in the armed forces, offer you a job. You are a part of a system, and soldiering is a way of life. And that's why it's different. So what is it? Why is it that the same person sitting in the class with you, now in a soldier's uniform, is willing to lay down his life? How is it that his children, his family, get absorbed and become part of a system? So the first thing that I want to share with you is that the army, as I mentioned just now, it's not a job. You are now part of a large family. How is it that I have to keep him thinking in a particular manner every day? How is it that I have to convince him? So the biggest challenge of an leadership in the armed forces is to keep your men motivated all the time. Motivated that he forgets about his daily life. And he only looks at how the system is going to be there, how he is going to face the challenges that are there. The challenges of, let me tell you, the challenges of a soldier are absolutely different. You cannot even visualize what his mental psyche is. A soldier on a patrol in Manipur today. Most of us in this country, I'm afraid, don't even know where Manipur is. He gets up in the morning, he picks up his mobile phone, rings up his wife, tells her that he's going to be out of communication with her for the rest of the day, or maybe the next 2 days he will not be able to get in communication with her. Prays to God, or whatever God he follows, and steps out into the real world. Steps out into the jungle, steps out into areas which are new to him, and he does not know what is going to happen the next half an hour. So my job as a leader is to keep him alive, to keep him motivated. And one of the main ways of doing that is if tomorrow I convince that soldier that should you not return back home, the whole country is there to take care of your wife and children. Because he has the same concerns as your parents have. Same concerns which any normal human being will have. How will my child go to school? Where will she be educated? My sister has to get married. My child has to get married tomorrow. My child needs to also become big. That is concern and very worry, same as any other parent would be. But if I convince him that this is a family which is going to hold your hand, this is the family which is going to hold the hands of your children, this is the family which will get your daughter married, that's when he will have the gusto or the ego. If he knows that he does not have to look back over his shoulders. Somebody is there to care for him. Somebody is there to care for his wife and children. That, friends, is the greatest motivation factor. We make sure all the skills he required for his job are there. We make sure that he knows how to overcome fear. Every human being has to face fear. Nobody can say that this is not a film going on. मेरे को डर नहीं लगता. Every person fears death. Every person fears injury. Serious injuries take place. But how do I make him overcome fear? That is my challenge as a leader. How do I ensure that he will never have to face the circumstances where he has to think twice before upholding a task that he's been given? That is the challenge for me as a leader. So, we went about it. Warfare has been there for generations. Incidentally, I hope you know that the greatest exponent for peace is a soldier. Okay. He is the one who will always, if you give him an opportunity that you want peace or you want war, he's the first person who will say, we must have peace. Nobody likes war, but of course there are circumstances which will force you into go to war. But nobody wants war, right? But the soldier is the one who maintains that peace for you. You're able to study here, you're going to set up businesses, you're going to be entrepreneurs. The country today is growing. The economy is growing. And why is it, if the economy is growing? Because all of you are contributing to it. But a lot of times we forget that economy will grow if there is somebody who is making sure that you have a peaceful environment to live in, peaceful environment to work in. Okay, these are sentimental talks. But the fact of the matter is that we make sure that a soldier is so well trained. That's why you'll find that a lot of questions have been asked. In fact, they've been asked in Parliament, and that why do we need an armed force when there's no war? क्या करते हैं आप लोग? ऐसा ही सवाल पूछा जाता है. अभी तो कोई लड़ाई नहीं है, तो इतनी फौज क्यों चाहिए? इसको कम कर दें. इनको हम मकान बनाने के लिए भेज देते हैं. We need lot of houses. आप लोग के बहुत अच्छा सस्ता लेबर बना सकते हैं. आप सड़कें भी बना सकते हैं. Yes, we can make all that. But then, when that call comes, will my man be ready to face the challenge? Can I detach him from all his own training? That's what we do the whole year around. We make sure that everything becomes second nature to a person. So whether he is in an operational area or he is in a peace area where there's no direct threat, you'll hardly find a soldier has time to. There'll be days when you are in the same place where your wife and children are residing, but you may not come home for the next 3 days. Okay. Half the year you're out in any case from cantonments because you're being trained. To ensure you do individual skill development, you do collective thing, and then you do it at larger scales, all kind of maneuvers and actions to prevent least amount of casualties when war breaks out. There's a very famous saying in the army that if the more you sweat in peace, the less you'll bleed in war. So, as part of that, the motivational and the biggest challenge that, as I mentioned, this challenge becomes manifold. One, when the soldier is alive, we don't want him to be looking back over his shoulders, not to worry about his family, children. But after he does not return, it is our responsibility that that family has become my family today. Today we've also got the women officers in the army. And I don't know how many of you know that at least 20% of those women officers are wives of soldiers who've already laid down their life. And the moment the government opened entry of women officers into the army, the first 2 girls who joined were women whose husbands had been martyred. So see how the organization has treated you. This is what they have seen, and they feel that they have to be part of this organization because they feel that whatever mission their husbands could not complete, whatever service their husbands could not complete, they are going to do that. That's the kind of spirit we build in the army. So for us, leadership, we work across community. There is no separate caste, creed, religion. My religion is the religion of the troops I command. That while we are not going about advertising for the army, but just to tell you that you have a great organization which is going to take care of your country. So, having said that, this is a never-ending topic, but I'm trying to put across a few major points to you. What I want to now tell you is that what do I, as a soldier, look for from you? I want you to understand, it'll give me great pride. It gives me great happiness to create that environment for you, provided it also gives me the satisfaction that we are all good citizens of this country. We produce the best doctors, we produce the best engineers, best lawyers, best administrators, IAS or whatever you have. But I'm not too sure, do we produce the best citizens? There is something amiss. There is something amiss in our attitude to be good citizens. I'm sure some of you will be familiar with a building called the North Block. It's in Delhi, part of the Central Secretariat. There is an inscription written in golden letters on the main gate, main entry. It reads, liberty does not descend upon people. People must raise themselves to this liberty. This freedom has to be earned before it is enjoyed. These are the words of Charles Cotton Corbett, the man who designed this marvelous edifice. What he is trying to convey is that if you want to avail your rights, then you must first take on your responsibilities. That is what a good citizen is. He doesn't worry about what are his, what interests, what prizes is he going to get, but he worries more about being a responsible citizen. Okay. And to add to that particular thing, just a small little example. You know, there is a scheme which was started by the government about 10 years back or 10, 12 years back called Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. I'm sure we're all familiar. Crores of rupees have been spent on this program. Okay, lot of good things have happened both in urban and rural areas, right? But what is missing is, I still throw the kachra which I have in my hand on the road and say that's not my job to clean the road. Somebody else is going to get paid for it. Yes, there'll be an old man 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning the roads. I don't know about Bhubaneswar, but Delhi definitely, that it's there all the while. So you'll first thing take that kachra and throw it where you want, right? And hope like hell somebody will clean it. And that's why you'll find them. We've got huge garbage mountains which have come up in Delhi because that garbage is taken. There are schemes on how to deal with it, but we are not being good citizens. So please be good citizens so that when I sit on the frontier, I feel proud of defending you. And the last point that I want to make is that show your gratitude to people. Show your gratitude to your family, to your parents, to your institution which are going to bring you up. But also take a little time off to show gratitude to that soldier. Tomorrow, if you are into a management position, a soldier's family comes to you, a soldier comes to you. If nothing else, when you're standing in the queue in the bank, give way to that soldier. So be gratitude to what we have. He was there to hold your hand when your house was getting washed away with the floods. So that little sense of gratitude must be there because he is giving up a lot for your sake. Thank you. Jai Hind.